Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dragon's Library, and today, unfortunately, I am quite disappointed. So, today's gonna be a little different because this review will not be long, despite me wanting it to have been. Today I'm going to be talking about the Demon Slayer to the Swordsmith Village movie that came out in theaters. I say movie with massive air quotes, because quite frankly, this thing is a trap and kind of a scam. And I am very disappointed in Ufotable for releasing this in such a deceptively marketed way. So, to those of you who don't know, Demon Slayer is an anime, one of the best anime currently airing. It had one season, and then had a movie which continued the plot, followed by what we regularly called the third season, or the entertainment arc. The first movie, which served as a pseudo-second season, was called Mugen Train, and it was one of the best anime movies of all time. In fact, it is actually the highest grossing anime movie to come out of Japan. It was really good, and did really well, even though it came out during COVID. So, yeah, great movie, excellent thing. But we're not talking about that. After that, we got the entertainment arc, which released as a normal season of anime of 11 episodes. I'm saying this so you can understand my disappointment here when I went to this. First up, when this movie starts out, and yes, there are pseudo-spoilers, but I'm not actually talking about any new content, so you'll get that in a second. It starts out with a flash forward of the scenes from Season 1, overlaid by the Season 1 theme song, which is like, okay, we're catching up the newbies. Season 2, the Mugen Train / Season 2 did the same thing. Season 3 starts not with a theme song playing underneath the clips, but just some clips with some voiceover. I'm like, okay, why are they doing the third season differently? Well, it's because the actual opening credits start for the third season, and episode 10 of season 3, midway through the final battle of the season, which started in episode 8 or 9, begins. After that, it is then followed by episode 11 of season 3. The total of all of this eats up over an hour and the vast majority of this movie's runtime. I need to make this very clear. This is not a movie for the new Swordsmith Village arc. This is the last 2 episodes of season 3 and a single episode which is essentially a preview of the next season. I am ridiculously disappointed in this movie and needed to make this very clear. Do not watch this unless you are willing to pay full movie price and waste an extra hour of your life just to see a single preview of the new Demon Slayer season, which is going to be coming out soon. Now, if this had been only a 40 or 30 minute preview of the 4th season, I would not be disappointed. Quite frankly, I would have been ecstatic, because although there's no major action scene or anything like that, which is likely why they shoved in the big battle sequence from season 3, it is a good foundation and did get me interested to see where season 3 is going to be going. However, as it stands, this movie is a mess that feels like they wanted to cash in on the fact that everybody really liked Mugen Train and would assume this is something similar. It is deceptively advertised to the point where I just cannot recommend this in any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm not saying that the content that they gave us is bad. In fact, all of this is really good animation and really good content, but it's not what's on the tin. And for basically lying to me and tricking me like this, and the fact is, you're not going to get a whole lot out of this if you're a Demon Slayer fan other than a sneak preview. And if you're doing that, if you want to go see that, fine. I'm not saying any of the content there is bad. It's even pretty fun. But do be warned, you should probably just come an hour later because you already watched season 3 like a dozen times if you're a real Demon Slayer fan. Or you at least know what happens. You probably don't want to rewatch all that in a theater. If you do, sure, this is the movie for you. But personally to me, I feel kind of cheated and a little scammed by this whole thing. I know I said that a lot. I usually am not very harsh with movies, but it is for this reason that I will likely give this, as a movie, it is a mess. Like, the editing and the whole presentation of it feels very slapped together. They have good content at the core, but it's just such a mess. Like, it's just like thrown in there to fill time because they didn't want something shorter. Clearly, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I have a rule not to give anything a 4 or lower unless there are objective problems to it in writing. And the actual physical movie itself, aside from the way it was presented very scummily, is not that much of a problem. And I'm probably being very generous by giving this a 5, but I cannot bring myself to give it lower because the actual content and animation of the entertainment arc, and even the content for the beginning of Season 4, the Swordsmith Village arc, is still pretty good. So, Demon Slayer to the Swordsmith Village gets a 5 out of 10, very begrudgingly. However, I will say this content, in isolation, is very good. It is just the way it was marketed, presented, and the fact that you can watch most of this movie online already as part of Season 3. There's no reason to go see this in the movie. So, yeah, that's basically it. Moving on to the announcements, I would like to say before we get started that I am sorry that this was such a bummer. I don't like doing very negative reviews. So, moving on, let's talk about something more positive. I am currently reading some books and I've seen some movies. So, what's on the docket for new stuff? Well, first up, I've seen the movie 65 million years ago. The guy who plays Kylo Ren is on it. It's about dinosaurs and crash landing spaceships. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'm going to talk about that in the future. In addition to that, I will also be discussing a new book. I've started listening to 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. So hopefully I will have that review out sometime in the next week or so. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really love doing book reviews. I hope you do, enjoy listening to them. And finally, I am working on my review for Hogwarts Legacy because I want to get that review out quickly because otherwise I might lose interest. Video game reviews take a lot out of me because there's just a lot of footage to go through to find relevant clips. So I hope you guys appreciate that those are the things coming up in the pipeline. I will also be going to see Scream 6 sometime. And oh my god, there are a lot of movies. Seriously, there are going to be like 6 or 7 movies coming out in March, and I'm definitely not going to be able to cover them all in March. So look forward to that. Finally, moving on to the end, we have our subscribe orb. Subscribe by clicking on the subscribe orb. Then we have a playlist for the other stuff this year and a video YouTube recommends. Pick one of them and enjoy. And one last thank you to everyone who's subscribed lately. We're up to 55 subscribers. I can't believe we got this far, so thank you very much, everybody.